I believe that every movie adheres to the 29-point story structure. No matter if the writer outlines first or dives in blind, the end product follows the same 29 beats. Promising Young Woman is my exhibit Y. There was no way in hell that I was going to miss out on this movie when the new drama category cycled back around. The dude bro temper tantrums alone made me curious, but the rumor that it bucked traditional story structure cemented my curiosity. Spoiler alert, it does not buck story structure whatsoever. The timing of each sequence varies based on the emotional needs of each scene, yet are all accounted for. The tragic irony of Cassie's body bringing justice to those who violated Nina's body flips the climax from defeat to ultimate win. And every emotional beat that leads to that final payoff dances with every step of the 29-point story structure. Let's begin. A tight focus on the core elements of the protagonist's personality, inner conflict, and situation. Cassie's honeypot ruse, the rapey predator, and her sober reveal. Where, why, and how the protagonists exist in their world, with a focus on why they don't quite fit in. Cassie spares no more fear of the patriarchal mouthpieces that denigrate and dehumanize women. She lives at home, metaphorically stuck in place, and is vastly overqualified for the life she leads. A singular event that's never happened before, and is destined to lead the protagonist away from their status quo. A face from her past resists her chilly demeanor by dancing with it, not lashing out. An examination of what's different in light of the something new, what's the same in spite of it in relation to the status quo. Cassie carries on with her vigilante mission to draw in the predators so they don't hurt any girls that night. But in her sober reveal, she asks questions that ring closer to her conversation with Ryan. The discovery that things are less than ideal, or an exploration of how badly things are. We receive a nod towards the inner wound that drives Cassie, the distraction of which has let her life race by, even taken surprise by her own birthday. Characters dedicate their effort to a specified goal, which is smaller in scope than the primary objective of the third act. Cassie refuses to sway from her mission, devoting her resources to the higher cause. Ryan negotiates his way into a lunch date. A brief checklist of the story elements needed for the second act. Institutionalized misogyny, Ryan's effect on Cassie, and of course, past wounds and current life trajectories. The singular event that launches the protagonist into the wild jungle of the second act, also called an oh shit moment. Cassie's trauma prevents her from attaching emotionally, and her vigilante mission has made her wary of all quote-unquote nice guys. Oh shit. Characters must learn all new rules and expectations distinct to this adventure. Cassie reaches out to Ryan and sets the slow boundaries, and lets him wade a little deeper in her everyday world. Then her fling reveals just how closely she's floated back towards her trauma. Characters showcase their ability to grow in the areas this adventure requires, typically through external means. Cassie initiates contact with Madison, yet keeps herself as guarded as she does when facing predators, as she primes her old friend to be a font of information. Characters face legitimate and understandable reasons to deviate from their stated convictions, agendas, or desires. Madison holds to the victim-blaming mentality that destroyed her friendships with Cassie and Nina. Then Cassie refocuses her vigilante mission to deal with old sins. An escalation of problems that vex the characters. Cassie successfully abducts a teenager from a school parking lot, then fishes remorse or regret from the authority that blamed Nina for her own assault, but finds an ongoing cover-up of a rape cabal still in operation beyond Nina, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Characters evolve internally by utilizing everything they've gathered and learned. Cassie reveals the emotional punch that she manifested and exposes the hypocrisy of victim blaming. She continues to swing back at the patriarchal status quo through one of its mouthpieces. Journey-weary characters reconcile the reality of their ongoing situation with who they were in the first act. Cassie struggles to balance her new dating life with her vigilante mission. Then Ryan recognizes Cassie in disguise, engaging in the second act of her ruse. A singular event that strikes at the protagonist's core conflict. everyone receives their day of reckoning. Characters find a safe harbor that also provides needed answers for both external and internal conflicts. Cassie finds grief, remorse, and regret in someone connected to Nina's victimization, someone who already found their reckoning, and she calls off the hitman. The clarified objective is realized in part or in whole, though it's meaningless without the completion of the primary objective. Cassie strives to fix the wrongs that surround Nina, but it might all be too late to make any real difference. She ends her vigilante mission in an attempt to move on, but there's still some damage control needed. An existential conflict that wounds the character's sense of self, worldly identity, or their journey. Cassie humbles herself to Ryan, tries for one more chance now that she's shed her vigilante mission, which he declines. She stumbles through life, trapped in her everyday life. Then Ryan comes to his goddamn senses. An undeniable win for the protagonist, typically in direct connection to the rebirth. Cassie commits herself to a new mission, to move on with her life with Ryan. He even endures her parents. Kudos. A grand loss directly connected to the character's newfound inability to quit the journey. Madison reappears for closure to her drunk lunch nightmare, then delivers the video of Nina's assault that Cassie never even knew existed. A thematic freefall tied directly to the heavy price. The video connects Ryan to the rape cabal, to Nina's assault. A singular event that robs the protagonist of seemingly any chance of success. Cassie cannot move on like Nina's mother once. The ripples of the assault pull her back in. Characters cannot return to their starting personas and must turn to face their primary objective. Cassie confronts Ryan with the video and blackmails him for the location of the bachelor party. Characters move towards the climax while utilizing the major swings and sneaky misdirections of the story. Cassie dons her disguise and marches into the lion's den of the rape cabal. She takes control of the room with practiced, confident ease, then lures Al to his lonesome. The final confrontation between the protagonist and the antagonistic force. Cassie drops Nina's name, cluing Al into the reckoning she is about to deliver. She fills in the rest of Nina's story, then proceeds to administer Karma's scalpel. But Al turns the tables. The singular event where the protagonist finally confronts their place in the status quo. Cassie dies, and Al is handcuffed to his actions. The direct aftermath of the climax. Joe comforts Al, conspires to help him clean up this total accident that absolutely should not count against him. The consequences of the climax in relation to other characters in the status quo. The police sluggishly investigate Cassie's missing persons report and laughingly dismisses the most likely suspect because of a few gruntled syllables from Cassie's dad. A tight focus on the protagonist contrasted from the opening. Cassie's posthumous gotcha uses her own body to take down the rape cabal for what they did to Nina. And there you have it, my 25th example to support my argument that all movies follow the exact same story structure, regardless of how the writer approaches their craft. Promising Young Woman broke several sequences down to their bare-bones emotional needs, yet it struck upon every single step of the 29-point story structure along the way. But does this dark comedy thriller follow the same plot beats as a space western with greater ambition than it was given time to explore? Yes. Yes, it arguably does. Next on my docket, Serenity. Please subscribe to stay up to date with this and future videos, and please like and comment with your thoughts and reactions. I'll talk at you next time.